all of it threatening our community if we don't leave the country. When she showed some of them to her father, he just shrugged. "This is what our people have endured for centuries, and yet we're still here. Don't worry, little Hannah. Just be good in school and listen to your mother. The best thing you can do to help our people survive is to marry a nice boy and bring many Jewish children into the world." Despite similar responses from my father, neither Hannah nor I have been able to turn our backs and pretend we haven't seen what we're seeing. The problem is, we have no idea what to do about it. Maybe our fathers are right, and there is nothing we can do. After all, we're just two 17-year-old girls trying to survive our meaningless time in high school. Still, it feels like it's getting worse, and I can't help but worry. We continue walking toward the side entrance of our school. We know from experience it isn't a good idea to spend too much time looking at the graffiti. A few weeks ago, Manny, the janitor, caught us and screamed that we had no business being there. Then he marched us into Mrs. Feldman's office. It happened so fast, all we could do was stare at the floor and mumble an apology to the principal, who seems to think that looking at the graffiti is more of a crime than actually spraying the stuff on the wall. I stop when we reach the concrete steps in front of the entrance. "Hannah, do you think it's safe to keep those pictures on your device? It wouldn't be too difficult for somebody to figure out what you're doing." She steps sideways to get closer to me and speaks softly into my ear. "I've been uploading them to one of those little memory dots and hiding it someplace safe." I shake my head. But why save them when nobody thinks they're a big deal? I feel her breath on the side of my face as she lets out a sigh. "I don't know, Judith. I guess I need to hold on to something to prove to myself that I'm not going crazy." I sit confined in the hardwood classroom desk, an uncomfortable chair attached to a writing surface. Mrs. Castenbaum is droning on about the history of the God-fearing states. When I stare directly at her, trying to get a fix on her soul, it neither shows up as a shimmering with goodness nor hollowed out with malevolence. Unfortunately, not everyone shows their true soul to me. Mine is an imperfect gift from Hashem, the Hebrew word for God we use outside the synagogue. It's a gift that enables me to see the soul, the neshama, of some, but not others. Maybe Hashem thinks there's no reason for me to see Mrs. Castenbaum's soul. I nudge my notebook to the side and stare at the grain in the wood of my desk. Its horizontal lines vary with each slat of honey-colored wood. I count 6 along the smooth surface and a 7th at the top with 2 long indents for pens and pencils. Frustrated by the random nature of the grain, I turn my attention to the design for a paper cut I'd started thinking about for the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, our celebration of the annual harvest season. There has to be an image I could use that's more creative than the standard ones of fruits and vegetables or dining in a sukkah, the little booths outside where we eat our meals for a week. But what? "Hannah Goldwyn, the Second Constitutional Convention took place where?" I snap to attention at the mention of my best friend's name. Charleston, North Carolina?" Okay, Hannah's safe. 11th grade marks a decade during which we've had to sit through some form of this lecture. Because tomorrow is GFS Independence Day, all schools, even the religious ones like Kushner Academy for Girls, are required by the government to teach a lesson about the establishment of the country. When we were younger, they gave us the easy stuff. One year we had to color in the map of the GSF and UPR, red for us and blue for them. I remember thinking I felt bad for the other country, because they were separated into 2 sections. The whole part on the left side, which I later learned is their western region, sits by itself, separated from its blue brothers by a big part of our country. Of course, our own state of Alaska is separated, but that is only one state. All the other GFS states